Okay, we first set sort of a frame in our paper to reduce the space that we are working on. You can use a ruler if you feel like, or you can just do it like I'm doing, going slow, free hands. And if it's not a perfect square, we really don't care. It's just because the space that I have available in my journal is pretty big. And for, time concern also, I wanted to make something that I'm able to finish in one sessions with you. We are going to just trace vertical lines. They don't have to be perfect. They actually have to be maybe not super straight, just more in a diagonal, sometimes farther apart, sometimes closer. So you proceed in this. You can go from the top to the bottom, from bottom to top, whatever works better for you. And that's it. Now we're going to do the same horizontally, right to left or left to right. Once again, not straight. We go pretty quickly so we don't think too much. And so we are setting basically the background of our pattern. We do the same with diagonal lines. And we keep going all the way. And other side. So we go with the same diagonal lines. We have a nice, busy grid in the background. Now we can switch and we can work directly with an extra fine markers, any brand that you have available. If you have Sharpies, use Sharpies. They will work. We're going to just do like organic, irregular shapes, some of which they will look like oval or sort of imprecise and imperfect circles. You do them as big, as small as you want. I would suggest you to do this middle, like a medium size, and don't make them, this one is probably a little too close to each other. Make them close enough to each other. But leave some space between them. You can have fun and have some bean type of shapes, Pretend that you're setting, like you're doing pebbles, big pebbles. And maybe one here. And now we start to feel those spaces between the gaps between these pebbles with our curved lines that we use several times in different patterns because they create a beautiful optical illusion. And when we do something that is based and founded on patterns, optical illusion plays a big part, right? So we want to see movement and rhythm in our piece, and curved line are a perfect way to add some movement to our piece. You start to feel the spaces and just be spontaneous. So don't think too much. Like over here, you will go in one direction and then in another direction. Just let the design guide your choices as well. So kind of stay connected with what your hands is doing it right now. But, let this tiny labyrinth that we created to guide you, and don't think too much about your choices in choosing the directions in which you're filling those spaces. Don't worry too much if all these lines are not perfectly and equally the same. They will meet at one point. Just make sure that you are, sitting in a comfortable position with a good posture and you are connected with this practice. If you want to have some nice music in the background, you can do so. I personally feel that recently it's like music is a big part of my life. I don't know how to play instrument or to sing. I'm more of a visual artist and I love to dance. However, I constantly listening to music when I drive or when I'm cooking and sometimes when I'm dancing. So when I practice art, mostly recently, I feel the need to be really, really quiet. Mostly also because, being a teacher, I'm really overexposed to uh, noises, right? And voices, although my students are pretty good. And when they focus, they can be really quiet. But you can imagine that, you are in a school with hundreds of kids. So it can be noisy. And when I'm home and I'm practicing in my studio or with you, I really need to reset. If you need to go slower, you can go slower. If you need to take your break, you take your break. You can pause my video and then start it again and practice with me. Practice should make you feel, nicely focused and quietly relaxed. If you feel that you're getting a little frustrated or anxious to finish, maybe it's a good time to pause and take a little break, right? The video is always there available for you, friends. So you can do it the same, my practice in 3 times. So you can break down the practice. One day you design, one day you do the black, one day you do the rest. Try to always adapt my practice to your own lifestyle, your schedules, your needs, and the way that you're feeling that day. And as long as you finish the practice, because that is a really therapeutic and also important task to learn, that we always finish before we started, because leaving stuff undone actually will amplify our anxieties if we struggle with it and our stress. Instead, completing our task, even if we take it 2 or 3 different times, it's a very, very good therapeutic uh, actions that we can take to help ourselves to moderate the anxiety and the stress level, to feel accomplished, to feel organized, to feel that we have control. Let me reset a little bit the camera, maybe move it. I know sometimes I'm so focused in what I'm doing that I don't realize that the camera is slightly moving, which also it's a proof that mindful practices like this one are extremely um, useful and extremely effective in building up a focus, right? Because everything could happen around me and I would barely notice because I'm all present in my practice, and hopefully you feel the same. And I know that many YouTuber or content creators online and in social media, mostly when they do this type of practice, they always do very quick, very fast uh, video. So they speed up their video three, four, even five times, right? So you can see the design happening. But sometimes I really like to go through the different steps with you because, it's like I want you to uh, embrace the practice with its challenge and also really make you understand that sometimes the complicated design that create that movement and optical illusion are just based on a simple element such a curved type of lines and nothing more. So a very simple element can have a huge impact and can create a pretty sophisticated design, right? So I'm sometimes I would use those practice in my shorts or I would speed them up, but I also like to give you the full version of it. Also, we always, rushing in this life. We barely have time sometimes. And in this channel, I really want to give you the gift of time. I want to give myself that gift as well when we sit down and we embrace the practice with the challenge that the practice brings, with the excitement, with the curiosity, and with the time that we need to dedicate in order to create a piece. Sometimes the people, and mostly younger people who are exposed to social media and to YouTube, and they see this quickly video where everything happen so fast and easy, and they are misguided because then when they want to do it they realize that the same practice actually requires times and comes with challenge, and then they feel the frustration, right? So now with me you get the real thing. You know how long the practice can take, and maybe for some of you might take uh, even longer because you are a beginner or you are a young artist and you're learning. And for some of you can take a little less, but you see and you understand the steps that you have to take, what to do first, what to do second, what to do last. And you are exposed to the honest reality of what does it take to create beautiful artworks. If your hands started to hurt like mine, you can take a break, shake it, squeeze it, and release it. And we're almost there. Now that we finish to feel the top layers, we are going to outline the lines that we traced before with a pencil without going over the gaps. Then we're going to use an eraser to erase them all. So we patiently go on all the lines. If you don't go precisely on top of the pencil lines, don't worry because you're going to erase them. Erase the pencil underneath. So you will just see the black markers. But you need something to be guided, right? Otherwise, you won't have the continuity. This is why we set the pencil line, like the lines with the pencil at the beginning as a background, taking care of our first coat. So we are creating now a visual illusion of space, right? you can already start, you can, start to see the optical illusion that I was talking about, right? Now that we feel that we outlined most of the lines, and we finish the first steps, which was filling those gaps between the organic shapes that we traced. You can keep this type of pattern and technique in mind if you will ever have to draw something for which you need, I don't know, to see this illusion of something that is in the background. Maybe you can have a landscape in the background that you trace with a pencil, then you go over doing a pattern for a net or something, and then when you will color, you will have this beautiful optical illusion that you're looking through a net, that you're looking through a fence or through something, and you can see whatever is in the background. So this time we are using just a basic element. Maybe in the future we can try the same experiment with a different type of background and design that we want to create. This is also such a nice opportunity to train our fine motor skills, to keep them in shape, to get better and better in tracing a good quality of lines. I'm going to quickly check that we got all of our lines. We close our markers, so get an eraser, any eraser that you have available. And we are going to erase all the lines that we traced at the beginning with the pencil. Making sure that we leave the design nice and neat. Now, if you really have some extra time, you can even use a different type of colors, color pencil or markers, whatever you have available to color inside the spaces and create a beautiful color palette, or you can leave it like I'm doing it black and white. I'm gonna turn off the camera so we can say goodbye. How cute is this, and how effective the optical illusion of having a couple of different layers works just by using simple elements such as lines. Okay, guys, we arrived at the end of this practice, and look how pretty is this optical illusion. Woo, woo, woo. So as I say, you can color in the background, or you can leave it like I'm leaving it black and white, and you can do the experiment again over and over and try maybe a different type of lines in the background. It's just, once again, a very nice practice to train our fine motor skills, get better in tracing different type of lines, and also learn that sometimes something that looks complicated and sophisticated, it's not complicated in reality, because it's a repetition of one simple element that can really have a huge impact on a design. It's a very also an amazing life lesson, because simple actions can have a huge impact in our life. I hope that you got the opportunity to practice with me, or if you just watch the video, I hope that you will have the opportunities to practice. Please, if you like the content that I'm uploading in my YouTube channel, like my videos, send me comments, send me questions, make sure to subscribe and spread the word so this community can become bigger and better. I wish you all an amazing day, and I see you very soon next week for another practice. Ciao a tutti!